And what advice would you give someone, perhaps if they were perhaps a senior project manager looking to move into a program management role? What advice would you give them?
Right. Well, to me, I mean, the main difference between a project and a program, and we've discussed this before, I know, is that a program is very much about delivering a business change.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a goal that you're trying to deliver for the business.
Mm-hmm.
The projects then are the things that actually make that change happen.
Mm-hmm.
Really, as a program manager, you've got to be focusing on what is the business trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Really, if you go into either setting up a program or into a program, that really is the first thing you need to look at is, does the business understand, across the whole of the business, do they understand what they're trying to achieve? And secondly, are all the people involved in it bought into it as well?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have come across instances where the business is quite clear on what it wants to achieve. Unfortunately, the people delivering the program perhaps aren't so keen on it. I haven't been on one quite this extreme, but I know of some where almost, the people on the program, their job is to reduce costs, and so at the end of the program, they have no job. And it's like they're not going to be highly motivated to deliver if that's the case. So it's really understand what the business is trying to achieve, and making sure that everybody involved is fully bought into what that change is and that it's needed.
What do you see as the next steps in the future of program management? Is it much of the same, or do you see things changing and need to change?
The big thing that's not necessarily new now, but is still, I think, new for lots of organisations, is moving towards more of an agile delivery, and that has quite a big bearing. Not on what I've just discussed. Mm-hmm. You still need to understand what you're trying to deliver and get everybody behind it, but much more when you look at what you're doing within the program and how you go about delivering it. It does have a big change. Mm-hmm. In the last 12 months, I've been working at Vodafone Group. There's nothing confidential in that. And they are going through a big move at the moment to try and move all of their projects and programs, or at least the vast majority, to working in an agile way. And that's really, I think, a lot of organizations are well down that journey, but some of them are only just started.
Now, you've been in a number of rescue programs over the years. I know you have. What would you say to an organisation who perhaps is, struggling to deliver a program for whatever reason may be about there? What's the first things that you would do, parachuting yourself in, to look at, on that first day, that first week, that first month coming on a rescue program?
Right. Well, the first thing is what I've just discussed. Is like, do they understand what they're trying to do, and is everybody bought into it? Okay. Mm-hmm. But the second thing would be, let's look at the different parties involved in the delivery, and are they working together or not? Mm-hmm. And I have come across a lot of examples where that's not the case, where basically, perhaps initially from the contract, you just haven't got a fundamental in place that's able to deliver. I can go back several contracts, so it's nobody will ever know which it was, where basically the supplier and the third thing is unusual, the supplier had bid a very low price for a program, mm-hmm. And during the sales process it was all seen as strategic, but then once the contract's signed, suddenly pressure is on from other parts of the supplier organisation to make money. Mm-hmm. Suddenly there's not enough money to deliver the program. Customer starts to get frustrated with delays, relationships start to break down, and basically that's the next thing you've got to look at. All the people involved working as one team, and if not, what can we do to change that?
Politics. I don't want to talk about Brexit or Theresa May or anything. Politics. Within organisations, how do you navigate an organisation that has political parties? And given your wealth of experience, you've seen it all. How does someone new coming into an organisation navigate that environment to give the best outcome for the business?
Okay, in some ways, perhaps coming in from outside makes it somewhat easier, mm-hmm. because you don't bring any history and baggage with you. Yeah, mm-hmm. But in the end, it has to come down to communication, and basically that's just a lot of time getting to know who all of the key people are, who the senior managers are, spending time with them individually, understanding where they're coming from, trying to get across a few messages of what you think needs to change. Yeah. But it can still be difficult. I think I might have told you this story before, where basically in one particular program, I was sitting down with all the directors in the customer, and all of them agreed what the problem was when I was sitting down with them individually, but put them together in a room, they just could not agree to change. So, but that's in the end what it is. It's about communication, knowing the people, understanding where they're coming from, and trying to get them to understand what needs to change if they're going to be successful.
And a final question, this is more from the sort of vendor side. There's lots of large transformation programs that of course involve many of the big vendors. When things are going wrong, what advice would you give to the vendor side to try and repair and rescue that relationship with the customer?
Well, that's a good one. I wasn't expecting that one. I mean, in some ways it's to do what I've just described. But of course, the challenge often is, in many cases, the contract is one of the things that gets in the way. And maybe the thing they've got to do is try and be honest about the contract. And I mean, I've seen examples in both ways, where a supplier has underbid and really doesn't have enough money to be able to deliver.
Yeah.
Equally, I've seen it where the amount being charged is exceedingly high, and the customer is feeling ripped off. And I mean, I think you've just got to try and bring some honesty into it. I mean, there's been many successful ones, perhaps, where that's been the case, but it's really when it's starting to fall apart. You've just got to try and be honest and open, and look at what the situation is, and then jointly try and come up with a solution to it. Because in the end, there's not many vendors who are prepared to lose £50 million on a big program in telecoms.
Absolutely. John, thank you for joining us. You've given us
You're
some
welcome.
amazing insight. If anyone wants to connect with John, check him out on LinkedIn, John Melton.
John Melton 57.
There you go. And John, I appreciate your time. Best of luck for your next interim assignment. I'm sure we'll be in touch, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yep, thanks, David.
Cheers.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Now, that was great talking to John, and I think, God, if you're looking for your next, or if you're thinking about becoming a program manager, program director, there's some of the insight, and it's all about that wisdom. And I think you can't learn that without doing the do and being in the role and actually having that wealth of experience. But hopefully that's given you a good insight. If you want to connect with John, you can check him out on LinkedIn, John Melton. And I thought it'd be great. This is the kind of thing we're going to do now. We're going to interview people every week and chat to them as well, try and get some insights from them, and hope it's been really useful for you. If you'd like to find out about being interviewed with us, you can come onto our website, vineresources.com. We have a little chat box, and you can just drop us a note. We're here all the time, able to help you, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.